Howdy, with this video, I want to go over the Puritans real briefly, so we're not totally starting in the middle of the story with response number 3. It's kind of important to note that the Puritans, when they came over in around 1620, very much a product of the European Renaissance, kind of this movement in Western Europe that kind of moved Western Europe out of the Middle Ages and the domination of the Catholic Church and very strict codified social strata into something different. And part of what that entailed there was this idea of humanism, where the individual is the greatest creation of God. Therefore, we have a responsibility to improve and educate and value that individual. Whereas maybe in the Middle Ages, the church kind of acted as a buffer between, and by the church I mean the Catholic Church, acted as a buffer between the individual and God, because God was high and mighty and holy, and human beings were icky, nasty, and sinful, right? But this idea of humanism also kind of fueled the Reformation in some ways. The Reformation, if you remember, is when began with Martin Luther putting his theses up on the wall and kind of wanted to make reforms to the Catholic Church. And people who followed him kind of said, well, no, let's don't make reforms to the Catholic Church. Let's get rid of the Catholic Church. We now have the printing press that started in 1450. We can translate Bible into our own language, and each individual, if we educate them, should be able to read the Bible and develop their own personal relationship with God. I mean, this is a radical concept because one, you didn't have the Bible to read because we didn't have a printing press, and two, if you actually had access to the Bible and you couldn't read Latin, you probably wouldn't be able to read it either. So this humanism, the Reformation, technology changes, all affecting this Puritan idea of purifying the church, or their church, from all things Catholic. And of course, there's plenty of religious fighting and political fighting and all these kinds of things. That's one reason they wanted to escape Europe. So when you start getting into Bradford, you're going to find him to be very educated, very interested in history, one documenting his human time, his human history as he's living it, but also seeing how that human history is fitting into God's history and whether the Puritans were on the right track or doing the wrong thing, and making sure you're getting favorable review from God, right? But a very interesting group of people. Puritans were very big on the idea that the metaphysical world interacted with the physical world. So the idea that God would come down and smite a sailor that was making fun of him seemed natural to them. God just works in this world that way. Also, so does the devil, right? And you're going to see, you might kind of read that and kind of go like, well, I kind of believe the same thing sometimes. And that's kind of where some of these ideas are coming from. Well, a lot of it from John Calvin and his work with the Reformation. But they're not just coming out of the Middle Ages in the medieval sense. They're very much children of the Renaissance. And the Enlightenment folks are going to be responding to this religious fervor and kind of say, well, maybe truth doesn't necessarily, there's truth in the Bible, but science and reason also can be a great source of truth, and maybe we should emphasize that more. And of course, these two groups fight quite a bit. We'll talk about that more in next class period. But hopefully that gives you a little bit of background there, so you're not starting in the middle of the story. You kind of see and of course we're talking about one little part of the world. There's plenty of other things going on. If you kind of look at a map of Europe in 1600, you have to wonder why the Ottoman Empire just didn't go all the way to the ocean and take over Europe. For some reason, they just kind of looked at Europe and kind of went, yeah. They weren't really interested in pursuing that. But this beautiful culture, Muslim culture flourishing for 600 years, had every opportunity to kind of go in there and try and make things happen. And of course, there's all other parts of the world doing their thing. But we're going to kind of focus on start with the Puritans and start talking about the colonialists as they come over and kind of start taking over land that people were already on. It's kind of so it's not all going to be positive, but kind of get the story going there. Hopefully that helps a little bit. Wanted to keep this short. And hopefully that helps you get into response number 3. But we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.